Greetings and salutations, fellow former members of the band Halix. I am Eric J. Chuckie, joined as always by the boy.
I don't want to let you continue on, but I really like this new bit.
Thanks. It's a spooky time, or approximate to that. We did not plan that. I'm really proud of us.
Honestly started out just laughing, or approximate to that, and then I just sort of carried it through.
We record in advance now, like you guys know, which is why I have not mentioned yet that my 5th book is out for publishing. There's a link in the description. Buy it now. Please. I need food.
Also, it's a really, really good book, and it's an excellent jumping in point to the series if you are daunted by the idea of reading 4 books prior to this before you read the new one. And also, it's a better jumping in point to the series than the actual first book.
Also, while we're here, so I don't have to do any fancy editing later, hey Rob, you're the best. You support us on Patreon.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of replacing the old disclaimer with just Rob. Rob is good.
That disclaimer's been gone for a long time.
I know. I miss it.
But yeah, if you guys support us on Patreon, we'll shout you out too, because we really appreciate that. That link is also down in the description. Anyway, because we record in advance, as much as I love the spooky season, this has not ended up being very spooky. Because, we did all these podcasts in September.
And, my spook generation is low this year. I'm not feeling very spoopy. The world's a little too spooky.
I'm hoping with a Halloween movie marathon coming toward the end of the month, we will be able to get the spooky juice back up and spray it all over the neighborhood. But for now, a podcast is what you're here for, and we're here to talk about spooky shit. So, of course, it is a good time for another Gauntlet.
Yep.
Yes.
We've done one horror Gauntlet last year around this time, I believe.
We're up against the likes of a team of entirely Matthews Lillard, excuse me.
Look, I don't know that we'll beat that in terms of entertainment value, but we'll do our best here. So, you want to run down the Gauntlet, or should I?
It's been a while. We've done plenty of these. They're in a playlist. If you guys want to go back, you can check out the full extent of the rules and what we've done before. The first video might be the place to check for what this was originally inspired by, which I think was a post that was linked on Reddit. I believe I listed it in the description, or at least shouted it out in the opening. But the rules are as follows. Any physical equipment the character has, as well as any mana or other resources, are replenished between each round. Non-fatal injuries are automatically healed between rounds, with a special rule for this specific gauntlet that we always come back.
Yeah, just specifically he and I.
We can't take anything gained within the rounds with us between the rounds. That's us and also the characters we've selected here.
Beyond character development. Nothing physical.
All of us know the setup for this experiment and why we're there, as far as we can understand things like that.
Yeah.
Everyone has to get along, which might make things rough.
Now, to be fair, this needs to be clear for this one. That's not a rule that means they automatically get along. That means that getting along is part of the challenge.
Yeah, they're not going to be assumed to get along, so we kind of have to pick people or figure out a way to rein them in. It's been a thing before. I believe you went through an entire character arc where Vegeta taught Bakugo how to not be a shithead.
God, I did.
And these are more broad for the overall concept of the Gauntlet. We can't use a character twice unless the winner of each round, each Gauntlet, gets a token to bring back a former teammate if we want to use it in the future.
So you have 2 tokens, I have 3, and David Xanatos has 1.
It's terrifying. But like I said, this is a spooky round, and we usually do heroic characters. But this time we decided to use villains. The boy, would you like to explain your team, please?
Sure. So, the thing we're doing here is that as always, us and 4 other characters from fiction are thrust into a series of either the plot of a movie or a specific challenge based on some sort of fictional universe, and we have to defeat that challenge, move on to the next round, 6 rounds for a gauntlet. And my team, my 4 fictional characters in this one, since we're doing horror movie villains, I had to start with my boy, Frederick Krueger. Specifically, Wes Craven's New Nightmare / sort of like an in-reality version of him, because relegating him just to the dream world isn't an excellent idea for the challenge. because, one, he'd be a lot less useful, and two, he'd be a lot easier to fucking manage. And them being difficult to manage is part of the deal. So Freddy has a lesser version of his usual power set, and he's in real life where he can just, stab me at the beginning of a round because he's an asshole. The next one I have is John Doe from 7. It's always good in these, if arranging cooperation is your thing, having a mastermind is a good plan. John Doe is a good one. He's not the best one. That guy took the best one.
It goes without saying that there's going to be spoilers for all of these movies and shit, so if you care, hey.
Go away.
Like, subscribe, buy the book, subscribe to our Patreon. Hit us up on Bandcamp. We don't have a Bandcamp.
Anyway, the challenge with him is that he does not like shitty people. He murders them, in fact. He is just a regular guy, so he's going to have a hard time murdering the rest of my team. Although he might murder me a couple times. The third person I have is Dracula from Dracula 2000, the Gerard Butler Dracula, because that movie's cool and I like it.
I should watch it sometime. I never saw it.
He's in New Orleans and he's fun and he's Dracula. He's basically just regular Dracula.
From all the times I saw the cover to that movie, I assumed it was in space.
Nope. And then the last one I have is Connor from Wolves. Wolves is like a drama horror movie. And the villain of the piece is Jason Momoa as a werewolf. So I took that werewolf. I've got a pretty classic lineup. A Dracula, a Wolfman, Freddy Krueger, and just a serial killer.
And the scariest villain of all, man.
Man! Yes, man! So, moving right along to my compatriot here, what is your team?
Well, like you said, having a mastermind is a great idea. So my first pick, actually, was Hannibal Lecter. Because someone needs to direct traffic. I need somebody other than me who is soft and easily killable to, no, everyone, and tell them what to do and where to go. My second pick was my boy in The Great Divide, which is Jason Voorhees, not the Power Ranger. I went specifically with NES Jason. First of all, because I love the color palette.
Secondly,
that
is the main reason.
It is the main reason. Secondly, because his powers are more easily consolidated. I could have maybe
confirmed.
Yeah, I could have maybe used someone from the Friday the 13th, like stalking murder game.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight or whatever it's called.
No, there's a Friday the 13th one that's separate.
Oh,
he's not in Dead by Daylight.
Because he has his own thing.
Yeah, basically. Because his powers are very well defined there, but I have never played that game.
So NES Jason it is.
NES Jason it is. My third entry is the Tall Man from the Phantasm series, because it's not underrated. It's as cult as any other horror movie, but man, you don't hear it come up enough. And he's got a lot of cool toys.
Notably, I know next to nothing about Phantasm.
And Army of Evil Jawas. And Count
That's
Orlok.
That's pretty cool.
Because every group needs a Dracula, and I'm going with Nosferatu.
And if I went maximum sex Dracula, he went minimum sex Dracula.
Yeah, the one from the classic movie, not the Willem Dafoe Orlok, although as class.
Yeah, all right. So right into the first round, I feel like.
Right into the first round. We'd like to toss a softball pitch out for the first round of a gauntlet. So, simply speaking, this round is Trick or Treat, not the movie. Again, I have not seen that either. I have a lot of horror movie catching up to do. It's been a weird 5 years. But our goal here is to go trick or treating. It's simple. It's part of the holiday.
Yeah, each team will be sent on a little mini gauntlet of 5 houses that they have to go and get candy from the inhabitants of that house. There is one small wrinkle, however. The house's occupants are fucking insufferable.
The rule is the best of 5 between candies versus corpses.
So, if you get to a house with your team, and you leave the house without having murdered the occupant and having acquired candy, you get a point. Best ratio in term if you murder the people, you do not get a point. You in fact lose one. Best ratio wins.
Okay, I think this is going to be this challenge, this gauntlet is going to be a lot more arguing against each other than usual.
I like that because usually we're very cooperative in this, and it's meant ultimately as kind of an adversarial thing. So the first house on the trek on the little the path they have to walk for candy is the Enduring Fan from the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Oh, that is a hard one because
he has to live the closest to the statue in the middle of this cul-de-sac, of course, of Azura.
Of course. Now, there's two problems here. One, do we think we're still alive by the first house?
Yeah, that's something we need to address.
Because one of the rules, which I had actually forgotten when we were setting this up, was that they start knowing the deal.
Right.
So, like, they know that they're going through the gauntlet. They don't necessarily know what the deal for each round is. That's why we're there. Our meta knowledge is usually useful. But since they know that they have to make it through...
And that's basically all they know. It's not like they have, inherent knowledge of these situations.
Of the rules or the situations.
Yeah.
Do they try and let us live because they don't know we're going to come back? Or do they know we're going to come back and just take the beginning of each round, it's like a stress-relieving exercise, to murder us horribly?
Like, my biggest opponent here is NES Jason.
Do you do a weed?
No, I don't. I never have. I have been known to engage in sexy times, but I cannot imagine that I would, be entered into the challenge and immediately try to fuck something with Dayglow Jason 10 feet away from me.
I mean, it would be an unwise decision, no matter how sexy Orlok is.
No, he don't like that either. I think we might be okay. Jason's the hardest to control, but, like, I don't...
I feel like Freddy would want to marinate me a little bit more.
Sure.
Like, he wouldn't want to just immediately murder. None of the rest of these guys have a big, immediate kill factor. Dracula probably wouldn't give a shit about me. Connor, he's ultimately just like a small town, like, drug lord, essentially, who happens to be a werewolf.
Okay.
And John Doe definitely isn't going to kill me right away. He has to determine why he's going to kill me first.
Sure.
Freddy will kill me. That is, during one of these rounds, Frederick Krueger will axe me. But I don't think it's round one. I think he wants me to marinate first.
He needs to figure out...
He likes to draw it out. He likes to figure out what the best possible way to fuck me over with.
Here's another question we have to ask. Can we get these motherfuckers to go trick-or-treating?
I think the only one I'd have a problem with is Dracula.
Yeah, because he's very up his own ass.
He's in that movie, he's a little up his own ass.
Okay.
But, like, Freddy's up for a good time. And if he knows he gets to be fucking free at the end of this, and right now he's in the physical realms, so, yeah, it's getting him to go trick-or-treating without then murdering the annoying assholes is going to be the problem. Mm-hmm. I don't think I generally have a problem with that. I think the rest of them are going to be motivated enough to either to get out, or just to fucking get me to shut up, that they'll go along.
Well, and I think, by contrast, you're way less annoying than an Enduring Fan. So...
I don't know that, as much as I think I can get them to go, I think some of these aren't going to be too much of a problem. There are two that I do not think are going to make it, and unfortunately... Well, actually, that's an important question. None of us are the grand champion.
Right.
So he's at, like, a minimum annoying.
That's why he's the first house.
Yeah. He's at the minimum of his possible annoying powers.
Yes, that's true.
Honestly, I don't think you have much of a problem.
It's just keeping Jason from murdering because murder is good.
But this is a good innocent boy who just wants to stand by Azura and
hand out candy.
Hand out candy and ogle the grand champion.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's in prime territory. It's not like Phasmophobia where, like, the ghost is now mad and is just going to fuck up whatever gets near it. We're not at Crystal Lake.
That's true. And
Jason has not had to chase anyone to Manhattan or space.
So he's not already peeved off.
He's not peeved off. He's just kind of...
Now, here's a question. And this might be your downfall of keeping the Adoring Fan alive.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he wants to fuck the Grand Champion.
But the Grand Champion's not here.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Otherwise, Tall Man might kill him later.
But, not for now.
But not right now. He's just getting candy right now. I think he can be persuaded to just get candy. I think overall, and I think Count Orlok is down for candy.
Yeah, look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's down. That's a guy who's down for
Yeah,
candy.
he could use a Reese cup.
All right, so House 2.
House 2.
I feel like we both passed House 2.
I don't know, man. We've already given Freddy a chance to go to one house.
No, you know what?
And not go with something like, trick or treat, smell my feet, and kick a guy in the nose so hard it breaks his face. And who would be a better choice for that than Ned Ryerson?
I was thinking, actually, this is one of the two I thought would be a problem. Ned Ryerson's definitely a member of the local PTA. I don't feel like he gets past Fred. I feel like
Fred... it's just open the door and Freddy's like, claw time.
Fred exchanges a sentence and a half with this man and goes, you know what, I'm in real life. I think it's time to get some of my fucking own back. And that dude gets a claw to the fucking skull.
Okay. I think I respect that. In that sense, I guess Dracula can, like, suck the blood. Maybe that's his trick or treat.
I mean, yeah, we're already down. Sure. You guys just fucking go nuts.
Yeah.
Poor Ned. Poor dead Ned. Hey!
Out of everyone, I think, like, Hannibal's probably the most likely to, like...
Nah, Ned doesn't look delicious.
No, but he would go aggro on him just for being a smug shithead. But I think he might manage to hold it in. Like, because he's a killer, but he's a calculated killer.
Like, it's not time yet. I feel like there is one later who is not gonna make it past your boys, but I'll fight for that.
That's
but
fine.
Like,
that's fine.
I'm cool to let Ned pass.
So next we have Navi from specifically The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, whichever one you find more annoying. The hey, listen. Watch out! I think Navi might escape both of them, teams.
Because, like, she's so tiny. Hey, listen, take the candy. Yeah, okay. And then we close the door and she's gone.
But even if we have aggro, even if there's venom, I don't think they can catch her. She's so small and fast.
And you know what? There are a lot of scary shits in those games, and they never attack Navi.
Yeah.
She's very small and fast.
Yeah.
Like, if it were chase down Navi, I feel like they'd manage it eventually.
Sure.
But I feel like she could, give us the hey, listen, take this candy, and we're like, yeah, okay, and then
we Z-target the candy and then reach our hand.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Well, that was simpler than I thought. The challenge ramps up.
Oh, yes, it does.
So now we are at 1, 2, 3 candies for me, 2 candies for you, 1 corpse for you.
Yes.
Advantage me. However, we are now at the house of a singing Mario Cantone.
He's singing a very specific song. I'm not going to sing the fucking song, because if you want to know the song, Google it. Don't do that. It's the most annoying song in the history of fucking time.
For the sake of context, I will tell you that it's about the birds. So that if you want to inflict this hell upon yourself, you can.
Yeah. Mario Cantone, the birds song. You can do that if you want.
But I
don't fucking do that.
I like you more than that, Ultimate Dragon.
But anyway, he opens the door, he's singing, neither of us make it past this house.
No,
not a chance in hell does either of these teams suffer that shit for more than 4 words.
I think before even anybody else gets the least bit, like, murdery, I am instantly upset, and Jason takes that as an okay to kill him.
If I know I have a bunch of murdery people behind me, and they're all pent up, so, like, it is, he opens, he starts the song, and I just immediately, personally, deck the fucker, and then they go, well, soup's on, meat's back on the menu, boys, and we handle business. Not with apologies to Mario Cantone. You might be a fine guy, that song's fucking annoying.
Yeah, you're a fine actor, but you introduced an earworm into my life that makes me want to cut my own eyes out.
So...
Which won't help, but I'll
so
feel
now
better.
we're at 3 candies, 1 corpse for you, 2 candies, 2 corpses for me. I'm baking even.
You're even, but I've got the advantage. However, the next and final house is the cast of The Big Bang Theory. And regardless what you think about this show,
the people, and specifically the characters, not the actors.
Oh yeah, sure. The actors. Oh, hello,
Jim
would you
Parsons
like
is
some
super
candy?
nice, yeah.
Here, have some, thank you, and come again.
But regardless of whether or not you like the show, and we both do, we like that show. We watched a fair amount of it. We are not the people who get all hissy and nerd elitisty about The Big Bang Theory.
In hindsight, those characters are awful.
No, they're bad people.
But
they're not good people. They're bad, annoying, awful people.
It had nothing to do with them being nerds or bad portrayals.
It's just they are bad people.
Sure.
It is a show about shitty human beings.
I think I don't think I make it through this one.
No, I don't think you do, Hammett.
I mean, I think I think OWCH could manage to keep his shit together, although there's a lot of love in that room. I think the tall man, again, might kill them later, but that's for later. Hannibal, he might want to set up a little dinner party. He might send him an invite.
Sheldon's too smart. Sheldon is too smart. That is peak food.
Exactly. But it doesn't even get there, because these are all sexed up 20-somethings, 30-somethings, and NES Jason would smell food.
It's knifing time.
Fucking the theme from Ironside starts playing, and he just goes crazy. Howard goes first because he's so surprised and glad to see NES Jason, who hacks him to pieces.
And also, I mean, he's Howard.
Yeah, he's the worst of them.
No.
Depends on the season.
Raj
if it's
is
early
the worst
seasons,
of
Howard's
them.
the worst. If it's late, Raj is the worst.
But I want to argue for me making it through this.
I think it comes down to a charisma check. Can you and John Doe keep Freddy Krueger from murdering them all? Because he's not as fast as Jason. Period. Freddy Krueger is not as fast as Jason.
No.
Especially my teleporting Jason that I've chosen. So you're going to see that look on his face.
It's Sheldon. Like the rest of them, yes, I can convince Frederick.
You know what? Sheldon, while you're trying to convince Freddy Krueger, Sheldon might convince Dracula to kill him. Or Connor.
God, yeah, because he's such a smug prick at all times, and like
Did
Connor's
you know
Jason
that
Momoa
Lupine
as a werewolf.
hierarchy is not actually representative
Okay,
to
you're
Alpha and
dying.
Omega?
Like, and it's Sheldon. The rest of them I could do. I could convince my team not to kill them. The candy's more important. We're down around. We need this.
All right. Well, now here's the question.
Sheldon is he's too fucking smug all the time.
Here's the question. You're only going to kill Sheldon. Does that count as one corpse versus all the corpses I made being one corpse?
I mean, if you'd like to give me that, I'll take it. I think it'll end up being Sheldon and Leonard because...
You think Leonard might stand up for him?
No, Leonard's a coward. I think
Leonard
he
would be like, honestly, I can't blame you, and just shut the door and give
he
me
would
your
eat
candy.
some cereal and and walk away. Honestly, this was coming. Candy's on the table, and then he just toddles off to his room.
I mean, I know you, and I know this situation, and if the technicality exists that I made more corpses, and you just took all their candy at the end, I think that might pull you the victory out here through, like, shenanigans.
Okay, but does that leave us... I think I still have the worst ratio.
Let's see.
Yeah, because we both murdered Mario Cantone, and yes. I may have won this round, but I did poor dead Ned. So, yeah, you take the round one.
So does it only count as one corpse? Because, I mean, my team is killing all of them. Jason's going to kill all those motherfuckers before we can stop them.
Even if it does, you still win.
Okay, all right. I'll take it. I'm not going to argue with it. Round me. I don't know how we used to keep track of this. It's been forever since we've done a gauntlet. Hello! Me. There we go. Good enough.
Good enough.
So off to round 2, we're swept.
Yep, round 2's a lot simpler. You know The Predator, the movie The Predator? Your team is now in the movie The Predator. So is the other team. There is one Predator. First one to find him and kill him wins.
Yes. Because ultimately, most of our characters are good survival against the Predator. They have supernatural powers, not just high-tech powers. The question is, I mean, we're dead.
Oh, yeah.
Even if Freddy doesn't start the round going, you kept me from killing all those kids. Now you're mine, bitch. It just takes your face off or something.
Honestly, it's going to be like, oh, we made it through round 1. What's this round about, friend? This one's easy. It's just the Predator. I can tell where we are. We just got to go kill the Predator. Oh, well, I don't need you anymore. Now it's playtime.
All right, just don't use the, do you know about the power glove? No, man, come on. It's one of my, what the fuck did he say after that? Just game over? I hate most of the Freddy Krueger movies.
I think he would kill me with the power glove just for the ironic majesty
I think he
of
would
knowing
put
that I
on
love
the
it.
power glove and then kill you with the other hand.
It's, you forgot about the power glove. Nah, kill. I'm joking.
Yeah, I think Predator's going to get, well, I mean, am I a challenge? I mean, I made the argument that before we started this, that Hannibal Lecter might be considered a challenge because he is, an intellectual and a hunter himself.
You're a civilian, homie.
I'm not even...
You're not worthy prey. Neither of us are. Freddy's gonna murder me.
Right.
Not the Predator. I am not worth killing. The Predator would not lower himself to murder me unless I picked up a gun. And I wouldn't because I know how he works.
Yeah. But you get to come back, so that doesn't matter. I get to stand and watch. If I'm directing traffic and I know these guys a little better, we might come out pretty well.
I mean, you got a couple supernatural heavy hitters in NES Jason and Tall Man. Count Orlok's nothing to sneeze at, but it's daytime for most of that movie.
Yeah, I mean, we do have nice cover, so we might just have to hide Count Orlok.
My Dracula, I believe, is a little more resilient to sunlight than Orlok, but
Sure.
not much, if memory serves. It's been a while since I've seen Dracula 2000.
Ugh. Okay, so this is the big question that we need to get out of the way first. Mm-hmm. Do Hannibal Lecter and or John Doe survive this round?
I know John Doe does. John Doe is specifically unthreatening looking.
Okay.
That is part of his deal, is that he does not look threatening or seem to be a problem.
Okay. That's fair. Now I'd agree with that.
I think Hannibal Lecter's smart enough to play himself off as less threatening if he is informed about the deal.
Sure, that's fair. He might go hide with Orlok. Honestly, my plan here, as a Kill the Predator plan, is Tall Man is going to use his Jawas and his little nasty orbs from range to harry and weaken the Predator, and then we send NES Jason to finish the job.
Jason versus Predator.
Oh my god, it'd be so Dayglow Jason versus Predator.
That's a good fight. And
man,
you
don't
even need to.
Right in the Predator's fucking ego. Here he is sneaking around the jungle in fucking optic camouflage, where Jason's like, do.
And the Predator's gonna fucking come after Jason. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
That's a prize worthy of a shelf.
Yeah.
My plan is actually much simpler. I have one supernaturally gifted predator in that Connor is a werewolf. Mm-hmm. Two, literally fucking Dracula. And three, Freddy Krueger. Do predators sleep?
True.
He might not be in the dream world right now, but I bet you he can tell where someone is if they're sleeping.
I don't know if predators sleep.
But it's just at the very least, a fucking shapeshifter.
Yeah.
With the ability to tell what scares you.
Well, and I'm sure, Connor also regenerates like a werewolf, I'm sure.
Yeah, yes, he's a werewolf.
So he's going to have a hard time up against the Predator. He can't be like a wound and track and kill sort of situation.
I feel like this one's actually super easy. Me and John Doe, John Doe, I'm dead, goes and hangs out in a tent for a day, while the squad goes and handles business.
So, is this the next round and we're going first to kill and wins? Or
oh, yeah, I feel like first to kill. There's one Predator. First, who do we think is faster? Who gets to and murders him faster?
Here's another question. Is there interference?
No. I feel like no. I feel like it's cleaner if it's more like...
Oh, so it's like a time trial.
It's like a time trial. First one to kill your Predator wins.
Well, see, I don't know enough about Dracula and Connor. This specific Dracula 2000 Dracula and Connor.
He's a pretty standard Dracula. On the Dracula Sunlight problem scale, he's fairly low if memory serves. He can handle it a little.
I think Freddy's your ace in the hole. I think if this takes more than the time it takes for the sun to go down and Predator to take a nap, if he does indeed sleep.
If the sun goes down, Dracula will find and kill him.
Fair. So, regardless of which member of your team does it, I think once the sun goes down,
Well, once the sun goes down, you have Orlok, who is...
Ooh, yeah.
Who can turn into rats and, like, mist and shit. And, like, he's Dracula, but creepier looking. So, and creepier powers, rats instead of wolves.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like we're both on a hard, we have a nice hard cap. Sundown, sure. The vampires come out, Predator is not going to make it. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger's a big, tough motherfucker, but ultimately he killed the Predator, and he doesn't have supernatural powers. Not in that movie.
I just meant Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, but he was playing a character.
That's fair.
So it's basically Tall Man and NES Jason versus Freddy Krueger and Connor. So a werewolf, and thus werewolf, scent tracking abilities and senses. And Freddy Krueger, basically the ability to know what scares you.
Yeah.
Versus, as you said, like, surveillance options. Mm-hmm. And a big wall of fast-moving meat, who I would argue is tougher than Connor.
I would say too, yeah. Jason,
Connor
also regenerates. Jason doesn't give a shit.
Connor is also an older werewolf.
Okay.
Like, he's the old lion in that movie,
okay.
With the protagonist being the young lion.
Man, like, this is tough, actually. I think you've got better surveillance, but I also think it would take Connor and or Freddy a little longer to kill the Predator than it would take Jason.
I actually agree. I think my team would find him first, but take longer to kill him. So it's about the differential. Is my team faster enough to make up for their slower kill time?
Predator's got a lot of creative devices, too, though.
He does. He's got, like, fucking laser guns and...
And Jason is, at the end of the day, dumb.
As a fucking brick.
He's a great meat wall, but he's not a smart meat wall. I'm going to say you edge this one.
I just think we're faster enough.
Yeah.
That the slower time to kill once we find him is offset. Because once Jason does find him, it's not a slow fight.
No.
That is the Predator going, oh man, oh shit, dude, and then like turning off the camera, grabbing a spear and going for the big, like, turbo victory of I beat him in hand-to-hand because he's thoroughly underestimated what Jason is.
Sure.
Because they're kind of hubristic predators. Whereas
yeah.
I feel like he'd have a much better hold on what my dudes are. Some sort of shape-shifting thing. A wolf creature. Fine. He would try and hunt them normally, but they would find him a lot faster. So I feel like your quicker time to kill just isn't enough to offset the quicker finding of we can sense where this thing is as opposed to a search pattern.
Well, and if Predator gives Jason the slip, we're going to have to find him all over again.
Yep. Whereas once Frederick Krueger is on your ass, you're not getting away.
So yeah, I think this round goes to you. Round 2 for the boys team. We're 1-1. We come to round 3.
Similar round, but slightly different goal.
Yes.
It is the movie Land of the Dead. Team has to, same thing, same time trial format, find and kill Dennis Hopper's character.
I think this one is more of a race.
Yeah, this one is just a straight up race.
We're both there.
We both know where Dennis Hopper's character is. I think we and I would both live long enough to let them know what the deal is, even if we are then terribly murdered. As again, Freddy might do to me. I did pick Frederick Krueger knowing I might eat a claw glove about 3 out of 6 rounds.
I don't know if he would kill you. Yes, no, this round it would be funny. I think he'll skip round 4. Because it stops being funny.
It's because
and then
the rule of 3.
Again in round 5.
Yeah, rule of 3. He has to give it 1 round to refresh and then kill me again. Oh, you thought we were over it. Nope, kill. I think that's fair. So this is just a straight race.
Yeah.
Who is faster at murder?
Yeah, who's going to cut through an army of zombies at the end of Land of the Dead and God, why do I always forget his name? John Leguizamo. To get to Dennis Hopper's character in the top of the tower on Fiddler's Green, I believe it was called, and kill him.
So this is just who has the bigger murder muscle flex power. And honestly, I don't. It's we're pretty matched. We've each got a Dracula. So if we wait until nighttime, that's pretty equal in terms of fight power.
I think here, once again, the Hannibal and the John Doe are not super useful.
No, because it's just a murder.
Right.
So, like, this is just Tall Man, NES Jason versus Connor and Freddy Krueger in pure murder facility. And in contrast to last round, I think you take this.
Well, because it's just a Dennis Hopper when we get there.
Well, yeah, it's just a Dennis Hopper, and also here is a whole wall, a wall of human bodies that you look at Jason and go, Hulk smash. I think the Tall Man just sort of follows along.
Why is there not a superhero movie sort of thing where instead of the Hulk you have Jason? Like, why is there not a team up where that's the fucking thing?
Like, I feel like just as tough and cool as my dudes are, Freddy would get nothing out of killing zombies. This is not fun for him. Connor is a werewolf, so he could do it with pretty good quickness, but fucking Jason, dude! Like, I feel like he mows through these things at exactly as fast as it takes him to walk there.
Well, and honestly, the second the guy lights up a doob, Jason might just be like, teleport.
Sin! And you've got an army of your own. You've got an army of Jawas. They're not quite as good as zombies.
Nowhere near, no.
But, like, they can serve to keep Jason's flanks clear so that he can keep going forward.
Yeah,
I honestly, like, I know we're supposed to be more adversarial. I think this is just a good contrast to the last round.
I think so, too.
Time trial, but this one's just straight murder, and Jason Voorhees is tops of the murder charts for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, the only other thing we would theoretically have to deal with are the gangs, but they're all trying to get out.
They're all trying to get out, and, oh, look, live humans. Freddy has a reason to try now.
Sure, yeah. Full of, horrible sin, so John Doe might at least entertain himself.
I feel like John Doe's getting to the point in his proceedings where he's going to want to kill me. Like, he'll have spent enough time with me by now, or at least by the end of next round, where he's going to know what I did wrong.
Sure. What did you do wrong?
Sloth. It's Sloth.
Oh, okay. From the Goonies? What did you do to Sloth?
Nothing. He's a sweet boy.
Anyway. All right, yeah, I'll take this. Whatever. It's good for me. Me. Round 4. Round 4 is tricky.
Yeah, round 4, we introduce a new sort of thing they have to do. It's another one like round 1, where there is a series of little mini scenarios they have to go through.
These aren't necessarily in order. They just all need to be accomplished.
Yep. So, we have a team of...
Might I perhaps actually submit... these are all happening at the same time.
I like that. A little bit of a live change, and I like it. We'll take it.
Yeah.
So, there is another team, a third leaderless team of horror movie bad guys, 4 of their own. Well, 5, but one's a tag team.
It's like that board game Lord of the Rings thing we played last week. The halflings count as half
one.
a piece.
So they are having a much easier day. They just have to go after their prey of choice. Our boys have to stop them. So simultaneously we have Michael Myers coming after Laurie Strode, Pinhead coming after Kirsty Cotton, Leatherface on his way after Sally Hardesty, and Chucky and Tiffany trying to find and murder Andy Barclay. Mm-hmm. I think we start with all of the people in an area we have access to, mm-hmm. and we have to, because there's no meta knowledge here. We have to kind of be made aware of what the deal is.
Sure, yeah, I think so too. Much like the trick or treat angle,
and that's why Freddy feels comfortable to like, he killed me last time. He's gonna let me live because it's fine. It's not funny this time.
Yeah.
God. Oh no. Okay. I feel like Freddy let me live in round 5 too, but there's a reason. Like this is just our boys versus that squad.
Yeah. Who are we sending out after who?
I don't know that it has to be a 1v1.
Well, if they're all happening at the same time, I suppose it depends on the innovation of each of the characters and how desperate things seem. Because these are all final girls in the trope name, Andy is, of course, a boy. So, they tend to escape their pursuers in the movie plot line, but do we want to take that risk?
It's too risky. Too risky for a big fail.
Yeah.
Because that ends the gauntlet. If one of these dies, I feel like. Because you got to save them all. I feel like this...
And I feel like that's doable. We've got some pretty big heavy hitters here.
Oh, that's the thing. Is one of the reasons we didn't pick these guys is because our squads would ultimately body them. But...
I didn't pick Michael Myers because he's just a normal...
He's worse Jason.
Yeah, he's worse Jason.
Not in like terms of movie quality, just in terms of, ability to murder. And not be murdered in turn.
I also didn't pick Leatherface because he's also worse Jason. I love Leatherface. He's honestly probably my favorite horror movie guy.
He's got a lot of feelings.
He does have a lot of feelings. And I believe you didn't pick Pinhead because you didn't want to be the Jesus wept thing.
Yeah. Freddy Krueger will delightfully kill me with a funny one-liner every couple rounds.
You would fidget and accidentally solve the lament configuration and then go, whoop!
Whoopsie doodle, fuck! And then it's 6 rounds of me, at the end of which I come limping out as a horrible, deformed monstrosity that's been tortured for a subjective 10,000 years. I'll take some funny quip murders first, thanks. So, I feel like that's actually the thing. The big challenge is Pinhead. Because the rest of those dudes it's Chucky and Tiffany, who... There is an argument to be made that they have some sort of power that makes it hard for adults to notice them, because you see that a lot in those movies.
They're small and they're sneaky, the both of them. They have proportionate strength. I did not realize that.
Yeah.
That it wasn't just a conceit of the movie, but they literally are like,
they're people strong.
Yeah. You just... Adults don't believe them is for a large body of the movie. When they're actually together...
Even when they should be believing, there is, in those movies, it's just a dramatic contrivance, honestly. But there's an argument to be made that because it's such a consistent one across that franchise, that there might be some sort of element to the spell meant to hide Charles that makes it hard for people to notice that he's moving around and shit. Not impossible, certainly, because adults do notice him in the movies, but harder. Because he's also sneakier than he has any fucking right to be, dressed as a brightly colored children's toy. So, I feel like the big main threat is Pinhead, but we also have to stop a Chucky and Tiffany infiltration.
Okay. I think I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Would you like to go first, or shall I?
You go first.
Okay. I'm going to send Hannibal Lecter after Chucky and Tiffany. First of all, they're just adults.
Yeah.
He could take them. And they're small-sized.
Yeah, but they're not delicious.
No, he doesn't want to eat them. But Hannibal Lecter is a complex character. He's not just an evil murder man. I mean, he is, but he's also other things, right?
Yeah, including a very talented and genius psychologist.
And what we have here are serial killers.
They really are his wheelhouse.
He will manipulate them into the dirt and then, I don't know, put them in a garbage bin or something. With the help of Andy. It'll be the end of the original Ninja Turtles movie. Oops. So that's my plan for Chucky and Tiffany, and I think it's doable. I think Lecter might take some shots, but he'll heal next round. Whatever.
He got a handoff in one of his movies and was all right with it.
Sure. So, I am going to send the tall man after Leatherface. Leatherface has his family. The tall man has his gear and his goons. Okay? I think ultimately Leatherface is easily confused, and if the tall man doesn't have to get in there, all the better.
He's too easily confused. That's fair.
Basically, everybody else in that family, the tall man's going to take out because he's smarter than them.
Yeah, but are they even there? It's just Leatherface.
Well, sure. If it's just Leatherface, I don't think we've got Jawas and orbs. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I think we'll have a big shock moment while Leatherface gets back up. Maybe he'll kill a few Jawas, but it's not going to be... I think the tall man's got that. Count Orlok, we're going to send after Michael Myers.
That is a dangerous call.
It is. But Michael tends to only attack at night.
True. It's his jam. He's a regular guy. Night makes it easier to sneak.
Yes. And Orlok, I mean, can at least give Laurie enough time to get away.
Orlok is fucking Dracula. Michael Myers is a regular guy.
Well, but he's very durable.
that once night falls, he's fucking dead.
Sure. Even if you were to argue that Michael Myers has some sort of supernatural power in that he's incredibly durable.
He is.
Just ridiculous.
He is the Energizer Bunny of fucking...
He's going to be able to let Laurie get away. More importantly, Laurie Strode is not in any romantic entanglements.
Yeah.
Her power of love will not offend Orlok or confuse him or make him upset. There's nothing there that's going to be too difficult for him to be like, maybe I'll just prey upon her. And I think that's important. Mm-hmm. There's a reason I didn't send Jason after... I mean, Sally doesn't even really get into anything either, but, like, I think they smoke weed. You know, it's the 70s. Of course they smoke weed.
Laurie smokes weed in the movie, I believe.
Yeah. We're not sending Jason there either, even though Michael Myers versus Jason would be an excellent fight that Michael loses.
Jason would just team up with him. She smoked a weed? Oh, well, come on, buddy. Let's go.
And we know how much Jason doesn't like perverse behaviors, such as drugs, abuse of alcohol, gross negligence of children, and freaky sex. I'm going to send Jason after Pinhead because he'll give a shit.
See, now, I'm gonna fight you on this. I feel like Jason ends that confrontation a Cenobite.
He might. I'm fully willing to accept that. But I don't think anybody else would stand a chance against Pinhead.
Alright, so here's my plan.
Okay.
My plan is I am going to send Connor against Michael Myers.
Okay, I think that's good.
Regular guy who's pretty good at sneaking, very durable, versus literally a fucking werewolf. You're fucked.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be a fight. Same thing with some of the other, like Leatherface versus the Tall Man, but it's...
Yeah, that's all fight.
There. Yeah.
I, like you, am planning on sending John Doe after Chucky and Tiffany.
Sure.
He is a very strong motherfucker. If you see some of the shit he did in that movie, he had to have some strength to do it, even though he does it off screen. And
there's a delightful twist there in terms of a plot, because then Chucky is being hunted by a different killer. That's interesting.
By a different killer who, I mean, I feel like it's pride and lust.
Or just wrath and lust, yeah.
And John's not going to like that, and they're the ones he can take pretty easily. I'm alive, and I'm not going anywhere fucking near Pinhead. So I feel like I'm actually gonna help here.
I suppose I could have helped, Hannibal. I don't know why not. I'll fight a smaller version of me.
Me and, like... I'm torn here. I think it's probably going to have to be me and Dracula versus Leatherface.
Okay.
Because I need to send Freddy after Pinhead.
Right.
He's the only one with enough reality warping powers to fucking hang in Pinhead's league.
I mean, I have to make the same argument made for me, because at the end of the day, Freddy's kind of a kinkster.
He might end up a Cenobite. Mm-hmm. Like, that's...
I think Jason might be too pure to Cenobite.
No, because it's not about, like...
Well, it's about temptation, though.
That is true. And, like, I can't send Dracula after Pinhead. Pinhead will kill him.
Let me say this. I think if the rounds were in perpetuity, if the goal was to, like, willingly bring them to the next round, I would probably lose Jason as a tool of the Cenobites. But I don't think he would, like... I don't think he has desires like that, unless we're talking about the 2009 remake. And
we're not. We're talking about the NES.
We sure are. He's Dayglow as fuck.
But, like, I can't send Dracula after Pinhead. Pinhead will kill him.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Pinhead knows enough about vampires to kill a Dracula, and he has the ability to manipulate spikes. Wood spikes probably count.
That's fair. And you can't send Freddy after Chucky and Tiffany, because Andy's not going to survive.
No, he will eat him. He will eat him for fun. And I can't send Freddy after Leatherface. Well, I could, really. But that messes things around, and there's nobody else who can fight Pinhead except for him and Dracula.
Right.
Connor ends up a Cenobite if I send him anywhere near Pinhead.
That's fair.
100%. He ends up a Cenobite.
And John Doe would want to fight Pinhead, but...
would lose.
Yeah.
Like, no, John Doe wouldn't. He would be like, wait, I could just live forever and do what I like to do anyway? Yeah, okay. So, I might be a man down from here on out. Because Freddy's the only guy who can reasonably take Pinhead, and I don't know that he does. But I will make the argument that if he can't, neither can Jason.
I feel like...
Now, I could also send Freddy in to fight Pinhead as a delaying tactic until we wipe up the others, and then everybody goes.
You know, I didn't think about that. Jason might just be stuck in hell. Which has happened to him before.
Yeah, he's notably vulnerable to being stuck in hell. Now, I am willing to have us both go through clean, but if I'm going to lose Freddy, I will make the argument that Jason is not more powerful enough to make
I feel like the girl gets away either way.
Oh, yeah. Either way, the girl...
Either way, they fight long enough that it becomes what Pinhead's doing now instead of...
Pinhead is... whatever, bye. You're interesting.
Sure. I feel like Freddy, in this sense, becomes a Cenobite, definitely 110%, and he's loving it.
Yeah, I get to be out of the dream realm forever, and I get to do kinky, weird sex stuff. Wait, are kids available? Oh, they are? You don't care? Oh! Well, sign me up. Fuck those guys.
This isn't remake, Freddy. Calm down, sir. Yeah, I think I lose Jason to hell here. I didn't consider that, but I don't know how that could have been reoriented, because Orlok is not gonna...
I had another person on my squad previously that I replaced with John Doe. I feel like that could have just eaten Pinhead for breakfast. But
sure.
He was OP, so I pulled him out.
I had Candyman before.
I feel like Candyman would have taken him.
I feel like Candyman's a righteous guy.
He's a righteous man with supernatural powers. He'd have fucking just taken him. Just fucked him up.
But I didn't replace him for Jason. I replaced him for Count Orlok, so...
Yeah.
All right, well, we're a man down each.
And that's fair. And unlike us, they don't go through to the next round.
You're right. Just you and I come through. This one is rough.
Who won that?
Who won that? We broke even, I think.
So just call it neutral unless we need to make a call, unless we're tied at the end. Yeah, we could still be tied at the end. Just call it neutral.
Yeah, I'd just call it neutral. I mean, that was round 4. I have the upper hand right now. But,
yep. There you go.
But we'll see what happens. All right, the next round is Saw. This was your suggestion. And that Jigsaw has supernatural powers. Jigsaw is supernaturally aware of the situation and all of these characters, and we start trapped.
This is not a Saw movie. This is Saw. Jigsaw has been pre-briefed, and he made Saw traps for all of us. Now, challenge is twofold. Do we make it out, first off? Because it is possible to do if Jigsaw's the one making the traps. Secondly, Jigsaw has a secret secondary goal. To make it out, the people in our teams have to cooperate. That is the key, is cooperation between everyone is necessary to get out of all the traps. Now that Freddy is gone, I was going to say that he would probably have let me live till the last round, and then at the very penultimate moment, remember when I said I'd kill you last? You never said that. You killed me a bunch. I lied! And then but
I lied, bitch.
That's fair. But he's gone now, so that's not
Yeah, I'm going to miss Jason. He was so pretty.
But yeah, so that is... So first off, do both teams pass the first goal, just getting out? Because some of them are so tough that they might just fucking get out.
So it depends on the traps, right?
Right.
For example, we're Jason in my group. I would have assumed that Jigsaw would have done something with his mom.
Or like a room that's filling up with water.
Sure, something like that to prey on his fears. One of the two. Maybe both.
Yeah.
Maybe it fills up with water and his mom is like, fuck you, Jason, I never loved you. And Jason's like, what? And I'm drowning? You know.
Screw it, I'll just stay in the water.
So, I think if Jigsaw is on the take, he's going to be tempting Hannibal Lecter to eat one of us. Probably me.
Of the remainder you have here, it's going to be you or the tall man.
The tall man's supernatural. He's like a proto-Slender Man.
But think about that. That's a rare meal. You're just a fat guy.
But I got good cheeks.
You do got the good cheeks.
He'd hide a key in my cheeks, my delicious cheeks or something.
Hide a key in your cheeks, handcuff Lecter's hands behind his back so he has to use his teeth to get it out.
Oh my god, he would. Oh no. Oh, I'm dead.
Well, we don't have to live.
Fucking Anthony Hopkins. You'll be back. Nom 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 nom. Fuck me, I guess. It's a Saw movie. I lived through the whole thing. I'm just laying on the floor screaming in agony the whole time. So Tall Man's a little trickier because he doesn't have wants. So I think what Jigsaw would do here would be take away his toys. We're in a situation where Tall Man is more or less depowered. I don't know what the trap would be for
well, that's the thing. We're not Jigsaw. We don't have to figure that shit out.
Sure, that's fair. And Count Orlok, I imagine it's some sort of timer before daylight.
Yeah, you have to do a thing which requires cooperation and some sort of horrible physical trauma for you, because he is still Jigsaw.
He's
before sunup. He's in live or die. Make your choice.
A Houdini thing. Lovely women are smooching all over him, and the sun's coming up. He's got to get out.
Live or die.
Yeah.
Make your choice.
Ultimately, I don't know what the Tall Man's trap would be, which makes it a little hard, but ultimately I think the team manages to get out. Especially without Jason, who was our wild card. I think Lecter can guide them and drag my screaming corpse along with them. Mm-hmm. What about you guys?
I honestly don't know that this is... I think without Freddy here, this might be a boon, because he's a shit. Just eternally. The rest of my dudes are pretty well balanced. They are psychotic, murderous assholes, but they know how to prioritize.
That's fair. I think John Doe would, Jigsaw would really try to prey upon his self-destructive senses.
I know what John Doe would do. John Doe wouldn't be trapped. John Doe would be at the console. He can let us out at any time. You can just win the challenge if you want. But to do it, you have to let these people out of their deserved punishment.
Ooh, that's rough. Woof. Yeah, that's...
You'll live either way, but to get past this, to get to the next round, to get back to your mission, you have to let these horrible sinners, and this one asshole, that's me, out of their very deserved punishments. Make your choice.
I think Dracula and Connor are going to get out of whatever the fuck they're in. I mean, maybe silver chains or something for...
Oh yeah, they're both hard motherfuckers.
Yeah,
they'll get out.
I feel like they'll get out. Same thing with Orlok. They'll get to it.
I have this is not me being arrogant. I have very high tolerance for pain. I would get out. And I heal between each rounds, and I've just been murdered a bunch by Freddy Krueger. I'm cool. But...
Honestly, John Doe might let you out, too, just because, he's, he suffered a lot.
And
he's just an asshole.
He's just lazy. He'd wait for me to put in enough effort to try and get out myself to prove that I wasn't being lazy, and he'd be like, all right, well, get out. And then I could help convince the others to do whatever cooperation is necessary to get us out of the larger trap.
I'm leaning really hard on my Lecter here. I think he would have the...
This is why you brought him.
Yeah, this is why I brought him, for cerebral stuff. I think he would have the comeliness, the good attitude to get...
and he'd be full and happy.
Sure.
Of you.
Yeah. Now he's got a taste for me, though, so...
That's not going to go well.
Oh, man, I'm going to end up like Ray Liotta, aren't I?
Ultimately, I think I win this round. I think I get out cleaner.
I think you get out cleaner as well. I've got a cannibal on my team, and I'm made of delicious meat.
I think John Doe's going to be the big heart. This is going to be, honestly, the round that tempts him most. But the two guys I have with me are hard enough that, they'll get through. Mm. And they're not ultimately that bad. If Freddy was still around, there's no way John lets him out.
No, that's fair.
Freddy Krueger is a fucking monster. He's funny, but he's a monster.
Yeah. All right, well, that round goes to you, and I would agree with that. That one was a tie. All right, final round. This was something that was in the original challenge made by the person who originally came up with a version of this idea.
We think. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure. But we never really covered that. We did our own thing. So, challenge number 6, take the ring to Mordor. Each in our own separate worlds. I know we've been doing a lot of crossover stuff this
Well, we
episode,
haven't crossed over in between each other.
Sure, sure.
So yeah, it's take the ring to Mordor. If both win, then the most successful, manage to do it before fucking Sauron took over the Earth. Whichever team's more successful takes the point. But ultimately, the round is about getting there and getting it done. I, notably, am down my reality warping guy who can fucking just teleport places and shit like that.
I am down my Orca Destroyer.
Yeah, you're orc fucker. Because orcs are awful.
The other hard part is none of my remaining people are incorruptible.
No, hell no. You would have slapped that ring on Jason because is the ring trying to fuck? Is the ring smoking a weed? Nope, then Jason doesn't give a shit about the ring.
I think I can get it pretty far. Me personally.
I think a younger version of me would not have made it very far.
Oh, I don't think a younger version of me. A younger version of me would have gone, ultimate power, you say? And look, that's still in me.
But I've got
a goal here.
Older, wiser me now, post-murders, several murders and torture time me, I feel like I'd be all right for a while. Not to Mordor. I think I would not make it as far as Frodo. I'd start Golluming up round about Kahadras.
Well, the ring doesn't actually have to be worn. It just has to be born.
Yeah,
which has its own effects.
Somebody, well, I'm gonna wear the fucking thing. I'm not gonna put a big sign on on my neck that says "Free ring, come here." But who bears the ring? I am out of, I don't think any of the people on my team. Connor, no, he's explicitly out for more power.
Sure.
Dracula, fuck no, he's Dracula. That's it. John Doe's a serial killer, and this is something that ultimately, at base, just gives him invisibility. But we know the One Ring has more power bound up inside it.
John Doe gets it though.
Yeah, he would get it, and he's. I think once they start Golluming up, and they gotta.
I don't know if you and John Doe manage to trade back and forth.
If we go tradesies for a while.
Because not only is he's a serial killer, he's obviously got a god complex and all this shit, but it's through a mask of righteousness.
Temptation is his bag.
Right.
He would get what the ring is doing because this is shit, man.
Also, he exists in a version of the real world in the late 90s, early 2000s.
He knows the Lord of the Rings. And he's clearly a very educated man. Yeah. He knows the Lord of the Rings. He would know the One Ring. Nothing good happens to you if you accept the One Ring. It's not power. It's just gonna fuck you up until Daddy Sauron gets back. Now, here's the problem. This isn't necessarily canon, but it is in J.R.R. Tolkien's writings. Okay. It's not in the books. But he stated, somewhere in his writings, I believe, that in Mount Doom, at the height of its powers, there is no one who could have voluntarily thrown the ring into the fire.
I hate to make an argument for you when, we're tied up, but I don't think John Doe would voluntarily throw the ring in. I think he would orchestrate a Gollum-Frodo fight between the two of you.
And make it so that I fall in.
Or him.
To my hubris.
or him because of his sins.
Because he's also bad. And he
knows it.
Yeah, his end game is getting murdered.
Yeah. I think that might be. Now we've got protection. I don't think
we've got protection. We also each have a couple Boromirs apiece, which might be a problem later.
I can't give that ring to Hannibal Lecter, even if he's read the Lord of the Rings a million times.
No, he's Hannibal Lecter. Ultimately, he's a very arrogant man. If you give him the ring, he's just going to think he can do it better. Yeah,
I hate to hand this one to you, but I don't think I get far enough. I don't think I can, because I have nobody to pass it off to. Well, actually, I did have an idea. I take that back. Mm-hmm. We have an infinite army of rats and or Jawas.
The One Ring is noted as being tricksy.
Yes.
And wishing to slip its chain. So I don't know that that's super reliable, but for the occasional break for you, I feel like it's possible.
But I don't know if that's going to be enough for me to get it all the way the fuck up there.
And once it's there at the height of its power, is there anyone there who's smart enough to kick you into the lava.
Lecter, but he would want the ring.
Yeah. Smart enough and able to withstand corruption enough and aware of the Lord of the Rings to kick you into the lava if they can't voluntarily throw the ring.
I will say, even if you don't actually make it there, you make it farther. I in a competitive thing, as much as I fought for my team here, I think we might have to give this gauntlet to you.
Look, I'm not going to say no.
You'd be a fool to do so.
But, like, I don't know that you're wrong. I feel like John Doe would. You're right, and thank you for making up an argument I didn't think of for my team.
I really liked that film, so I got into a lot of the ancillary stuff about it. So,
like, he would, because of his own sins, just make sure we shared equally, share the load, and just get corrupt further and further as we go. And then when we get there, it becomes a sad fight between two wasted pseudo-golems, and I mean Gollum. Because he gonna be there. And I feel like at one way or another, the ring might not make it into the fire, but we get farther than you.
Yes. I think
with Freddy or Jason, we actually both would have succeeded. One, because Freddy's amazingly corruptible, but he likes to get his own shit in.
Yeah.
So I think if I had Freddy, we would win because he would have made sure I only kept the ring the whole time. Now, fuck you, John Doe. He gets to hold it. I'll murder you. Fuck you. This is the last round. You ain't got to make it through, motherfucker. And then he would wait, and he would wait, and he would wait, and he would, at the end, go, now it's funny again, and he'd pick me up and toss me into the lava.
I hear there's a whole shire around here.
Later, bitch. And then hook. Because he's about getting his own shit in.
He is. That's true.
He wouldn't be able to throw the ring away, but he would be able to throw me. I can't throw the ring away. But I can throw you!
Hey, Dracula, remember this one? This is... Where? Mount Doom, kaboot! Dracula, who is Dracula, not actually Gerard Butler. I don't understand.
But, like, I feel like... But without it, I don't know that I get there.
Sure.
But I get farther than you.
I think, yeah, if I still had Jason, that's like...
If you still have Jason, you just put it on a chain, tie it to Jason's neck, give him a pat, and send him towards Mordor.
I mean, I'd go with it to make sure someone doesn't swipe it or whatever. But, like...
He doesn't sleep.
As much
he doesn't
as he's
rest.
a fucking murder man, he's not... That's exactly the badass Jason moment where he's like, that's nice, and crushes it. Sort of thing. I mean, he can't crush the ring, but, like...
Well, like, he just goes... At the height of its powers, no one could voluntarily sploom.
Or just fucking nosedive over the edge and then thumbs up from the lava.
Oh, no! That is what would happen!
Fucking Terminator theme plays.
Just as he's sinking, one thumb up.
Oh, damn you, Cenobites.
Because the version where those two live is the better version. But without them, I don't think either of us make it. But I get farther than you, so I win.
Yeah, well, congratulations to you. This podcast has gone on longer than usual. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Join us next week where we probably talk about movies we saw.
Yep, probably. Everything's better when nerds talk about it. Fuck it!